All right, the next team we're going to talk about is Missouri. Um, Missouri, I think, is going to kind of shock a lot of people last year. Everyone's going to remember them playing that really close game with Georgia that came down to the wire. They have a super, super strong defense. It was one of the best in the SEC last year. I think it'll be one of the best in the SEC this year. The real question I have for them is, can they get anything going on offense? I mentioned earlier their top receiver last year, Dominic Lovett, kind of got out of town and transferred over to, if you can't beat him, join him. He went over to Georgia, probably play a big role for them. Who's playing quarterback for them? Last season they had Brady Cook, who had a decent season. They put a lot of time on the recruiting trail and in the transfer portal into bringing in more talent for that quarterback room. Jake Garcia jumps out. He was a Miami commit, former 4-star. And then they've got Sam Horn on the team, who's also a 4-star that they brought in themselves. Whoever it is that ends up playing quarterback, I know that Brady Cook has dealt with some injuries in the offseason. So you're going to have to see one of those guys fill in, at least to some extent this season. I like both players as prospects, but they haven't gotten a lot of chances to play just yet. So it's really a wild card in terms of who's going to be playing quarterback for this team to start the season.
Yeah, I think not a ton to add to you here for this Mizzou Tigers team this year. I will say there's a very good chance, or not a very good chance. I would say Mizzou fans need to be wary. Mizzou, the team, needs to be a little wary. Their out of conference schedule is one of the better ones probably in the entire SEC. They've got K-State on the schedule this year, Middle Tennessee State on the schedule
Conference
this year.
champions.
Yeah, I mean, it, it's no slouches really for them. So
No.
they could be in trouble this year, but it could turn out they could also. I mean, with that defense, they could compete in that division as well.
Yeah, and another question for me outside the quarterback race is for Eli Drinkwitz, the coach there. What what is what is Missouri doing? What are they getting after? I mean, this is a team that's finished 6-6 or 5-5 in the shortened season, 4 straight seasons. Like there's no progression either direction, which is good that they're not going backwards and they've been bowl eligible. But at the same time, I mean, this is a team that massively shocked expectations, going 10-2 in the or 10-2 and making the conference championship in their first year in the SEC, and it's only kind of been downhill from there. I don't know if Drinkowitz is the guy to kind of take the next step for this program. He's been kind of a steady hand to get them, to where they are now. They have some players. They've got Luther Burden on the outside, is a really talented receiver. I just don't see them making the jump because they've had, it's been the same story every year. They've had good defense, okay offense. I don't see how it's any different this year. In fact, because of that out of conference schedule that you mentioned,
It could be
I don't
worse.
know that they're going to make it out of that unfazed. I think Kansas State's got to be favored to win that game. And then the big question I have for them is, are they talented enough, skilled enough to beat the Floridas, Arkansas, Kentucky, South Carolina,
And even
Vandy's, those
Vanderbilt this
teams?
year, honestly.
Yeah, even Vanderbilt. I
Um,
don't know that they're going to be able to beat all of those teams because if not, they're going to be looking at 6-6, 5-7. And
I think non-bowl eligible is a real possibility for them this year. Which, if that's the case, how long do they stick with the head coach? And if they do decide to move part ways, I think this is a very attractive job to a young coach coming out of a group of 5 school to make an impact coming in from a school because he's in the SEC and with the new conference changes, like you're gonna need to be kind of there's going to be kind of more of a haves and haves nots culture. So it's an attractive job, I think, because they'll be there, they'll have a chance. So it'll be tough to compete. However, I think it's still an attractive job if they do decide to move on.
Yep, see, but that's okay. At the same time, at Missouri, you can go 6-6 4 years in a row. So, maybe that's got to be a real attractive job.
Yeah, exactly.